Now, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Welcome to the Like a Conspiracy, the show where we turn sweat into strength and setbacks into stepping stones. We're your hosts. My name is Nathan Craig, and together with Andrew Hutto Hudson, we're diving into something powerful, your inner voice. Now, spoiler alert, it's been talking behind your back. If you've ever thought, I'm not good enough, I always quit, or why even bother, then this episode's for you. Because what if the biggest bully in your life is the one living rent-free in your head? Now, we'll discuss how to kick that voice off the couch, or at least teach us some manners and turn your inner critic into your inner coach. But before we start, if you're looking for support and a community that lifts you up, join our Discord channel. You'll find people just like you who are working on their mindset, fitness, and goals. Links in the description below. Andrew, mate, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you, Nathan. I went to the physio on Monday night, re this calf muscle thing that I did on my park run.
Oh, is that still playing up, is it?
Yeah, so That's what old age does for you. So I've been exercises to do for the last week, and then I've got to go back and see him on Monday again.
Okay.
And so we'll see how that pans out.
So what's his prognosis so far?
Well, it was... he said that the muscles that you use in cycling, I forget which one it was, it's either posterior or anterior, and then the ones that you use for running are virtually the opposite of what you use for cycling, which basically makes sense. And so, he said, effectively you've gone from not using those particular muscles at all to suddenly just going full noise on those muscles. Yeah. And he said the amount of weight when you run, what do you say? It's between 4 and 7 times your body weight on impact with each stride.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Wow, okay. Well, that's good news.
Which was a little bit more than I thought, but but it makes a lot of sense. So it's a fair bit of, if your legs aren't used to it, it's a fair chunk of weight that's sort of jumping up and down on it. So
I bet.
I've got to hold a tennis ball between my ankles, like the heel part, sorry.
Right.
And I've got to do this thing like he calls it like a Michael Jackson. So if yes, how can I describe this? You bend your knees, so you're sort of like standing, but you've got bent knees, and then you've got to try and do a calf race with bent knees, holding the ball. So you've got to try and lift the ball up off the ground with your ankles.
Right, gotcha. Now, you may have heard a voice just chatting away just then. Let's get our special little guest in on the show. It is Sharon.
Hi.
Hey, Sharon, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
How you going, Sharon?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well.
Well, except for your calf muscle.
Except for your calf muscle.
Except for my calf muscle, but it's a work in progress.
Now, I did... first, I'm really excited to talk about this particular episode. This is going to be a really great episode. But before we get into it, and just like Andrew was mentioning, with the park run that he was doing, I also got out and did a park run, and I think I mentioned that in the our last stream that we did. But what I didn't mention was, just like Andrew, how bad I felt the next couple of days afterwards.
You were walking like you were 99 years old.
Oh, it was not pretty.
I know it wasn't.
So, Andrew...
Sharon didn't give you a massage?
No, not at all. Just lots of pointing and laughing. That's what she did.
So, and then no sympathy at all?
No, none whatsoever. And
self-inflicted.
There was no empathy. Well, I don't know about self-inflicted.
You chose to do it.
I did choose to do it, but it was a positive thing that I was doing.
No. And then you know what? You did an amazing job. You were faster than the first time you did it.
Yes.
So you've improved.
Like 5 minutes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so I was happy with that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay.
But I definitely wasn't fast getting up the stairs or sitting down or bending over or doing anything that required any kind of movement whatsoever.
Did you have the old man sounds coming with it?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a groan every time I had to stand up.
Oh, that's the worst.
It's
and Sharon, you walked it. Is that right?
I did, yeah. No, I had a couple of bad days. Hadn't been feeling well, so I walked it. But I do want to run it.
Yep.
You said you were gonna run it.
No, I was gonna run it, but I just for a few medical reasons I couldn't.
Yep.
But I certainly will be giving it a go in the next couple of weeks. So
That'd be good.
yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
no, I definitely want to. Yeah,
It's good fun.
I've been doing a lot of walking, so
Yes, you
trying
have.
to get my steps
What are you averaging at the moment?
well, I'm trying to sort of hit at least 10,000 steps a day. I'm
Yep.
trying to increase it to 15,000
Mm-hmm.
because I work from home full time now, so I don't really have an excuse to not do it.
To not be doing it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
in between a bit of
Well, that's good. At least you're using the right muscles.
Yes. I'm
You just got to
slowly
use
building
them in
up
a
to the
faster
running.
motion.
Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, no, she's doing a fantastic job. And the consistency too has been awesome. So, no, she's really knocking it out of the park.
Literally, the park run.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, so now this is going to be good because this is exactly what happened to me. So what we're talking about today is the toxic voice in your head that always throws some self-doubt into the mix. It tells you, you're not good enough, that you can't do it, that you shouldn't do it, has a whole bunch of different things that it says. But I think it's something that everyone suffers from. And I know that that's exactly what I do. And what I didn't realize is how often I did it. Now, when we sort of did the script for this episode and I was thinking about it, we were at the gym the other week. I think it was last week. And this is after I'd sort of just worked out what, this script and sort of talking about how we were going to approach this kind of this subject. And I realized there and then I was actually spotting you. You were doing bench press, or we're doing bench press together. And you had sort of congratulated me and saying, yeah, well done. You're pumping me up and, making me feel better about just doing the weights, doing the work. And my instant reaction was to turn around and say, no, that wasn't that great. I could have done better.
Yeah.
And it's so ingrained, like it's just something that, and I think also, Andrew, and maybe you might have a different spin on this, but is this something that you feel that guys especially are kind of taught? Don't pump yourself up. Don't make yourself, sound better than other people. Be, what do you call it? Be sort of modest. These sorts of things. Do you think that kind of plays into it?
I think partly it does, but I think you've also got the certainly in the gym you'd notice that in terms of the stereotypes of body image and stuff like that. You would have probably an unspoken peer pressure going on in there, where you'd have different people around the room who have probably be more built than maybe you, or things like that. And I know when I've been to the gym and stuff like that, you're sort of very conscious of how you look or what you're pressing, how much weight you're doing compared to like the guy 2 things down from you and stuff like that. So I know in my head that that's relative in terms of, I'm doing what I can do and what my body can do. But there's still a bit of a thing like, are you perceived as like a weakling or, those sorts of things. And I think that's part of that as being a male is probably be more so in that strength sort of space.
And certainly I think it's something that as guys as well, we end up, we end up, I think, just talking ourselves down. And I've done
think girls do it as well. It's not. I don't think it's just guys. I think it's girls as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just as in.
But with the
male and female.
Yeah. No. But like telling yourself you can't do it, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Why bother doing it?
Yeah. And also, I guess one day differs to the next as well. I mean, some days you feel stronger than others. But we've got a poster at the gym that says, I think it's 80% is just turning up. Yeah. The other 20% is the working. It's the fact that you're actually at the gym or at the park run or on your bike is better than sitting on the couch or not even doing it, I think.
Well, that's what, Andrew, you've said that many times. It's like, you beat everyone that, you lap everyone that's on the couch.
Yeah, you're lapping everybody on the couch.
Yeah.
Is my thing. Like, if you made the effort, it doesn't matter how far you've gone further than the person that's still sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah, exactly. But
even if it's 100 meters, 500 meters, if you fall short of what your goals were, you still have made an effort and have got something more out of that than if you had been potentially sitting on the couch doing nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that toxic voice in your head is something that I didn't realise I had got quite accustomed to either. And I also do the same thing when I'm racing or on Zwift, so cycling. And when someone sort of says, "Oh yeah, you did well," or if you come 10th out of say 30 riders or whatever the event is, and you sort of, I end up saying, "Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry guys, I let you down. I could have done better, or I should have done this differently. I should have done that differently." And again, it's that inner sort of toxic voice that sort of just talks you down, and it's got to be something
but I think that's
change.
But I think that's partly high expectations that you have of yourself. So one is, I think, like that toxicity, it's trying to find the balance between and that negative feeling, but also having the balance between that and your high expectations that you want for yourself.
Yeah.
So understanding that if you haven't performed, it's not necessarily a bad performance. Like do you get what I mean? Like you've got to try and maintain that positive outlook, even if your goals are still there.
Yeah.
So you've got to have,
Yep.
that resilience to keep things in perspective, I think, is the main thing that people should try to do. Like, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days.
Yeah.
And your goals aren't always going to be go out there and hit your goals every time. So it's about trying to not necessarily listen to the negatives, but try to take the positives out of everything that you can do.
You also don't want to burn out. You don't want to sort of overdo it every day. You've got to also give your body time to recover, rest and recover.
Yeah.
You're just going to absolutely wreck yourself. Which we keep saying we feel guilty when we take a day off, but your body you need it mentally and physically. You need a day off.
Yep.
To recover. For your muscles to recover.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess it's really, I think more so it's about not beating yourself up every time you set out to do something. And as long as, like, even if the park run is you just starting out walking it.
Yep.
At least you're doing it, you've started, you've made a start, and it's, rather than sitting on the couch doom scrolling or, thinking of reasons why you shouldn't do it. Oh, it's going to hurt. I don't have the right.
Too early.
I don't have the right gear. It's too cold.
Well, that was one of my excuses. Was like, we've got to be up early. That's like it's Saturday. It's when I sleep in. It's winter. It's too cold. And even though I walked it, when we got back, it was 9:00, and we were up about and felt great. And then it sort of sets you for the rest of the day. You're not sort of in bed, turning off the alarm or snoozing the alarm for every half hour, and then you know it's 11:00 and you've wasted half the day.
Yeah.
So we got back, and it was like, oh wow, we've still got the whole day ahead of us.
Yeah.
We can be really productive, and it sort of sets you for the day as well.
And that's a good thing about
now. Let's just back that up a bit. You get out of bed at 11:00. Did you say, Sharon? Right, that's a fair sleep. That's a fair sleep in.
Both of us. I don't have my daughters. I have alternate weekends with my daughter. So when they go to their dad's, he picks them up at 9:00, and I'm not going to lie, I'll make some coffees and get back into bed, and we'll sit and listen to music or just drink our coffees and snooze.
Just chill.
Especially if it's raining outside and it's cold. Who wants to get up and go outside or do anything? Unless we've got like every Saturday we go to the gym, so it's not like we are lazy all day long. We do things, but I do love my sleep. I love my sleep and a good sleep.
Well, we had a bit of a sleep in today here because we got started school holidays here in SA, South Australia, and so some of my kids' sports have all cancelled for the weekend, so we didn't have any. And my oldest son, he still had sport, but because he's got his provisional car license, so we didn't have to get up and go take him to there, and we didn't have any junior sport either. So it was the perfect weekend for us as well, even though we still had the kids, but we didn't have any sport to go to because that's normally our thing on a Saturday morning is the sport. So yeah, we had a bit of a sleep in.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice.
If my
It
when
was
my kids
good.
are with us, unless I actually wake them up, they will sleep until midday if I let them.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
my elder, she's just turned 14, so she's your typical teenager who I literally wake up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
But you know, so sleeping is something that we have been guilty of. But at the same time, I think our consistency with the gym
I just
has offsets that substantially,
yeah.
which is a.
So I don't
pretty
feel
good.
guilty for doing it.
Yeah.
Unless I waste half the day and then I
Nice.
kick myself going, oh my God, I had
Yeah.
grand plans for the day. I was going to do this and this, and then it's 1 o'clock or
Yeah.
11
Yeah.
o'clock.
But then you end up yelling at me about it because I should have gotten up and bed.
Yes. Not always can't always be my fault.
Oh. Okay. So here's the question though: what do we do about the inner critic? So one of the things that I was looking at was to give it a name. So if you name your inner critic, then you can sort of personalize it, and then you can sort of begin
Have
to
chats with it.
well, you can begin to change it. Yeah, no, I've got a couple of them.
I know how your mind works. Oh my gosh, you just constantly having these
Yeah.
conversations.
Oh yeah, there's several voices in my head at any given time, working out things. All right, so
yeah.
put you on the spot, Andrew. What if you had to give your inner critic a name? What would you call it?
Frank.
Frank. Oh,
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But I don't know. I've always, and we might touch on this a bit later on. I think one of the things that I always started on when I was always having a mantra rather than listening to a critic sort of thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so when things are suffering and things like, when you're starting to be in that pain threshold and everything else, is that you have something a mantra that you say to yourself over and over again to try, I guess, maybe to try and drown that negative thought out,
Yeah.
but it's to try to reinforce a positive thing all the time.
So what's the mantra?
For me, it's all in the mind.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I like that.
And
it's very true.
Yeah. So I have on my Swift bike, I've got one of those floor mat things on the ground,
Gotcha.
and that's in text on the top of the mat. So as I ride,
okay.
I can see that.
That's all.
So it's always reinforcing. Yeah. So it's if I start to feel fatigued and stuff like that, I always think no. You can always push that bit more. You can always do that a little bit more.
Yep.
And just try to not psych yourself into it rather than out of it.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes that's what it is.
That's exactly it.
And when I was running, and this is how I guess it started when I was running. When I used to run, I used to live in a remote country town, and so you'd go for a run out on the highway because that was the only road that you basically could jog on. So you're basically jogging down a main highway with nobody there. Yeah. And so Amanda used to worry about me and freak out and all that sort of stuff. Because if you go for a run, it's a couple of hours and sort of thing. And so I used to have this ID bracelet thing, and it would have my name and a phone number, like an emergency. No, might have been like an emergency contact number and things like that. But you could also then put on there like your mantra on that as well. So I used to have that, and that's where it started. So I had that on there as well. So when I was training for this half marathon, I could always look at that and then have that as well. And so I've sort of carried that over into my cycling. So yeah, I don't have a name for that little voice as such, but maybe I could. Yeah, Frank would be that.
Frank.
Yeah, Frank. Yeah, that's right. And then, but having a mantra and having something like a positive thing. So when things are, for me, it's about, and I guess that's trying to reinforce the positive space rather than looking at a negative and talking to the negative. That makes. Yeah. So that's my approach anyway. Sharon, you?
My name. Oh God, I hate being put on the spot. I don't know.
Well, I can
Nathan.
tell you while you're thinking of a name.
Can I tell you at the end of the episode?
Yeah. I can.
We'll come back to it.
One of the things I do try and visualize, especially, and it doesn't really matter too much if it's cycling or if I'm at the gym or doing something else, is I do try and visualize that my kids are watching me, or that I'm trying. Like I might be in a situation where I've got to try and help them, and that last push. On the bench press, that last lift or whatever is just enough to help them pull them out of some sort of some sort of problem,
Oh,
some sort of.
you did that with me the other day, going, pretend it's the kids and they're drowning or something. I can't
And you
remember.
got to lift them out.
What did you say? I can't remember what you said.
Yeah.
And I told you to go away. I'll just stop it.
Yeah.
It wasn't working.
Yeah.
I think it was
So anything that sort of just triggers that last little bit of, I don't know. Yeah.
Can I choose a name that is someone I know?
If you want it to be someone you
Yeah,
know.
I'm going to choose Hannah.
Okay. So your inner critic's voice
Is my daughter.
is your daughter.
My daughter. Oh, yeah, no, she's bossy.
Yeah.
Tells me what to do. Yeah.
But in a positive way or a negative way?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
So you're going to turn your inner critic into your inner coach.
Yeah.
Daughter.
So Hannah's going to be shouting all this really positive affirmation.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah. I can see her
picture
doing that. Yeah.
She had her parent-teacher meetings the other day, and her teacher calls her his 2IC.
You should get a pre-record a heap of like sayings and stuff like that. So when you're running or whatever you're walking and stuff like that, it plays through you.
Yeah.
No, she's encouraged. She does encourage actually. So I think Hannah. I think it certainly wouldn't be Chloe.
No.
I think I'll go Hannah. Yeah, Hannah's my inner voice. Yeah,
so when Hannah's criticizing you, you're happy to tell her to shut up in your head?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's the same as at home.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Does she watch the show? She'll watch this later on?
No. She won't.
No?
No.
Her 3-hour limit will be up. She'll be asleep.
Yeah. And plus, we're not giving makeup tutorials, so
No.
Not interested at all.
No, not at all. Oh, but just on a side note, very quickly, she does have a love, or has started to develop a love for long distance running. So that's a positive thing. Yeah.
She's out of my daughter. She's the sporty one. She's like soccer.
Yeah.
District cross country. She did well.
No,
so is she going to join you on a park run soon?
It's too early for her. Oh my god. I'd love to. I keep saying I'd love to. So, who knows? She might. I might see if I can encourage her.
Yeah.
I'd like to bribe her with something.
I think you could probably
dangle a carrot of some sort.
Correct. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She's got to have an incentive. So.
But so once we've done the whole process of identifying, what it is that we want to name this inner critic, then the trick is turning it around and turning it into your inner coach.
Yep.
And that's one thing the last week, that's exactly what I've started doing. And just like you said, Andrew, it's like you can work hard, but you've got to also pump yourself up too. It's celebrating, even as we say, even when we go to the gym and neither of us feel like doing it, and you don't really want to be there, even then it's like you still turned up. Even if you've only done 75%, you've still done it.
Yeah.
And that's the coach side of it. You got to cheer yourself on, and even if you do the same what you did last week and you're really hoping to, change it up, or you did the same run last week and you're hoping to be faster, or you did the same ride last week and you're hoping it was going to be better, you're not going backwards.
No.
And, there's going to be times there where you will be faster and you'll be better and you will lift more.
Yeah, you'll have better days.
Yeah. But you can't guarantee that. And I think that's one of the things that people got to realise too, is that you might have that as a goal to go faster or run longer or do whatever that is, lift more weights or more reps or whatever it is. But sometimes that your body's just not in that space.
Yeah.
And, it's about then realising, okay, then my legs don't feel good today, or I just don't seem to have any strength today. Okay, either reassessing that and go, okay, well, I'll do an easier run, or I'll do less weights, or I'll do a different exercise rather than what I normally do, or something like that, but still do an exercise. But then maybe you have that as a bit of a rest / easier day, and you come back the next day.
Yeah.
Well, you were mentioning earlier today that were you reading up somewhere online where it's about fueling your body before you go to the gym.
Yeah.
And so it's timing when you eat.
And
so we were saying that some days we'll do the same exercise that we did 2 sessions previously, because we kind of alternate a push-pull method with our workouts.
Yeah.
And no, not that kind.
I wasn't going there yet, but okay.
And we joke going, what? Sometimes it's like I feel like a superhero because I'm just really going, and then some days it's just I can't finish a full set because it's the same way that I did previously, but I just need that extra help at the end.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. I think maybe it's just because we haven't eaten properly or fueled ourselves in the right way before the workout, and I guess you've got to time it in such a way that you've got enough fuel to sort of push through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even a mental thing, like, I think your mental preparation for some of that stuff is just as important as your fuel stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's been plenty of times where if I go to bed and I'll lay out all my gear ready to do something in the morning, and you go to bed thinking about, right, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go to this run, I'm going to do this stuff, and you go to bed with a positive sort of view on what you're going to do in the morning, normally it works a little bit better than if I don't go to bed with that and then I just go, well, it's raining. So it's raining at night and you think, oh, the weather's going to be crap tomorrow. So you've already put yourself in a space of making an excuse and a negative mind space before you've even done that. Yeah, and so when you wake up in the morning, if you hear anything on the roof, it's just like, yep, I knew, that's it, I'm staying in bed. And you don't, like, so, that mental stuff as well as like you're saying in terms of your preparation, I think it's just as important in that as well.
Yeah. But here's the crazy thing as well. So this whole inner critic that we've been talking about, when we're working out together, and this, again, it happens to be a good example. When we're working out together, the positive comments that I give to you when you're doing something, even though you might be frustrated with it and you feel like you're not doing the best that you could be doing or should be doing, the positive comments I give to you are certainly, there's nowhere near the positive comments that I tell myself in my head. So when I'm doing the same exercise or I'm feeling the same way that you are, I don't say to myself,
oh, well
yeah,
done.
you're doing it. You're pushing through. Not every session's going to be a breakout session. Not every race is going to be a podium race. But at the same time, you're doing it. You're getting it done, and you're turning up. And there's always the next time you do it. I never say that to myself in my head, and yet we all tell each other, everyone else, but we never say it to ourselves. And so I've made a mental note now to start doing this, especially at the gym and cycling too. When you finish, say, 10th or 15th or even 20th out of, 25 or 30 people or whatever the number is, the fact that you did it and...
You didn't give up halfway through.
Correct. You didn't rage quit.
Yeah.
You didn't bug out.
I feel I've always I get quite, like when I'm at the gym, I get quite, I think, critical of myself. Probably because it's a woman, and women are what's the word, are
objectified.
No.
Well.
Oh my God, not jealous, but just critical.
Yes.
Critical.
Oh yeah.
Of themselves, especially at the gym, because I mean, you go to the gym these days and you get so many young girls, which is great. Like, you get so many different age groups, colors, sizes, everything. You get everything, and I think it's wonderful that everyone is getting themselves out there exercising. But for women, I have to remind myself that I'm the age I am. I've had 2 kids. The fact that I'm actually there and lifting weights, I think I've got to be really proud of that fact.
Yeah.
And I sort of look at all these younger girls half my age, and I've got to keep reminding myself, why are you jealous?
Yeah.
I mean, like you've been there, you've done that, and you're further down the track now. Don't be so sort of critical. Be proud of where you're at, what you're able to do, what your body's able to do.
Yep.
So I've got to, and Nathan's always really, really great, sort of encouraging me and lifting me up. So, but still, I'm my worst critic, as you say. You're your own worst enemy.
We do it to each other, like ourselves. We do it all. I know.
Not
I do
to
it
each
all
other,
the
but
time.
to ourselves. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think if that's something that you can change.
It's that mindset. It's that you've just got to change your mindset.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that our listeners could probably do is like you might not be able to do that at the gym, but you could surround if you work out at home in a space at home or you've got something there is to put something on the wall, some of those sort of positive affirmations around. Yeah. So as you're looking at, if you glance up at the wall, it says, just do your best. I don't know what they are, but you do your best or whatever what works for you. Yeah. There's always tomorrow or whatever they are or and to surround those there, and it can be, from where you exercise, it could be something on your bathroom mirror or something like that. So when you get up in the morning, it's like today's a new day, or whatever it is. But just to try little things around the place, just to put you in that. I think that'd be one of the things that our viewers could to do as an easy way to sort of start on that journey for positive.
Just to begin retraining, reframing. That voice. I mean, I've got John McClane falling from my mirror out of Die Hard, so
silly little soft toy suctions to our bathroom mirror. It's the only place I'll let him hang it.
That's what I look up at in the morning and just think, if John can do it, I can do it.
Do you?
That's what it is.
Really? Okay.
But I think that's an easy way for people could start on that journey.
Yeah, exactly.
Naming that critic, like you said. Yeah, and then putting some things around your exercise space or wherever. Or having some sort of way of having that bit of a positive way of setting your mood. I think would be a good thing.
Even when you feel like you're not doing as well as you feel like you should be doing, you can look back and go, actually, I've come a long way, and I keep turning up, and I'm not going backwards. And these are all really positive things. So my inner voice, I've wrote on the script here, is Barry.
Barry.
So Barry Barry's a bit of a jerk. I've got to tell Barry to
back off.
Pull his head in a little bit.
Shut up, Barry.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, now I do that. Yeah, I wasn't doing it before. I was allowing that voice to go. Yeah, I probably could be doing more, and I should have, tried harder. I should have started that sprint earlier. I could have, gotten out of the saddle when I was climbing and spent more time, at a higher cadence or a higher watts than I did, But at the same time, as you say, Andrew, it's like you're doing it, you're turning up, and you're beating everyone that didn't do it, and that's a lot of people.
That's right. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's your health.
Yeah.
Not theirs. It's affecting yourself. You're getting that dopamine hit for yourself. You're getting the rewards for that for yourself. It doesn't matter whether it's the viewers or anything else. It's you that's benefiting from that. So,
and that's
the critics that you.
Yeah. So have you named yours?
Or
Hannah.
Hannah.
Hannah's right. Yes, right. Hannah.
Oh, come on, Nathan, keep up.
Gosh, I'm Barry in my head, talking to me.
Shut up, Barry.
Yeah, Barry.
Barry. Oh gosh, no, it certainly is a difficult thing. So, yes. Oh yeah, no, we don't have anyone watching the channel at the moment.
Are we live?
Yeah.
It'll be quiet tonight.
It is a bit.
I saw Ryan's. So I've actually enjoyed it, even though I've only done the couple of runs. I've actually been enjoying that. So I think that's something that I am going to pursue for a bit longer.
Yeah.
Maybe not long term. And I watched Ryan Condon's video of him doing his park runs. He's got another one that just came out recently where he's trying to set a new PB for it and stuff like that.
Yep.
And his aim is to get like 5-minute kilometres. So we'll give him a time of 25 minutes.
25 minutes. Yep.
And I thought, there's some good short goals like that people can do. Is just sort of say, start off and might be just to complete it, and regardless of what the time is, just start somewhere, just to complete it.
Yep. And also setting yourself some goals as well. You kind of got to improve yourself in whatever way, like you said, just pitch, just doing it.
Yep.
Completing it.
Yep.
Without stopping.
Yep.
Don't sort of time yourself, but just like you were saying, I think when you did it, you were going to run the first until the turning point.
Yep.
You were going to run it without stopping. Mm-hmm. Did you?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Well, then, you've got to kind of make a goal each time you try it, and it's just.
Yeah.
Well, now my next goal when I do the park run, next one is to get to the turnaround point and then back to the bridge, with our stopping. So that's my next. So that'd be about 3/4. And it doesn't sound like a lot, I know, but given that this would be, I've only ever run this distance twice in my life. It's I'm not exactly a runner.
And no, you're not. No, I mean you're tall, and
I'm like a loping giraffe.
Well, so was Usain Bolt. He was tall.
Okay, yeah, good point. How tall is Usain Bolt actually?
I don't know. I'd have to Google that, but I reckon he's over 6 foot something.
Wow,
he's tall guy.
He does short distances, so that's easy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it could be a time distance. It could be, and if you're getting and that's another thing. Like if you're getting hung up on the time, and that's the barrier, is leave the watch and everything at home.
Yeah, good point.
Just run for the sake of being out in the fresh air, and run to how you feel.
Yeah.
And the park runs, when you register, you get that little tickety thing, that the token that sort of tags your time and all that anyway.
Yeah. So then you can sort of forget about that. You're not looking at it.
It doesn't become this this sort of weight on your mind. Usain Bolt is 195 centimeters tall.
How tall are you?
I'm 186.
Oh my God.
There you go, see?
Wow. Okay.
So apparently tall people
I
can
knew.
run.
I knew he was a big guy. And like you watch his sprints, and he's like always really slow at the start, but because of his stride length, he smashes them at the end.
195 centimeters.
Well, it'll be interesting. I'm gonna. I'll definitely try and run it with you.
Yep.
Because we did a walk today because we're away for the weekend. And I felt like I was taking 4 steps for every 2 of yours when we were going climbing out of this forest. Because I'm short.
It wasn't bad though, was it?
No.
So we went for a walk through the Otway National Forest, and we walked like a bike track down to to a lake that we thought was going to be there, but it wasn't there. And then we walked back up the road to get back to where we thought our car was, which
it was.
Thankfully, it was. But we did just about just under 4Ks, so 3.85 Ks for just a round trip.
55 minutes.
The walk back was where we did all the elevation.
Yeah.
So, and that was a lot shorter than the walk down. So I reckon that was probably about 1.5 Ks, less than 1.5 Ks, with close to 150 meters of climbing. So it wasn't exactly flat. But
no.
I expected you to be well in front with all the walking you do.
So your legs are longer.
Yeah, but you're doing half the work.
I wasn't that far behind you. Your legs are longer as well. And
that's right. Doing half the half.
Because I had a thick layer on it. And anyway, I'm not going to come up with excuses.
No, you don't need to, do you?
No,
as long as you did it.
I did.
Yeah.
Got to the car, thank God. Without crying.
Yeah. Well, no. You guys have done well.
Yeah.
You got out and about.
Yeah. No, I'm joking.
No tears.
No tears.
So, and Tour de France is coming up soon.
Yes, that's this weekend.
No,
it's just starting.
Oh, that's right.
It's just going.
Okay, I've got it. It's just after.
Yeah.
So Zwift have their usual the climbing portal.
Yes.
Andrew, will you be partaking in that?
Well, I did see on the socials that came out the other day that you can get the devil's outfit if you complete all those climbs. I think there's 4 to do.
Yep.
And I'm sure there'll be quite a few people that will do the climbs. But I thought, that's a bit of kit in the cupboard to have. So yes, I might do that.
So Sharon's asking the question about what the devil is.
The devil's outfit.
Oh, you know the devil. What's his name? Diddy, isn't it?
Diddy,
I think Diddy. Yep. I think is his actual name or something like that.
Correct.
Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
But it's this guy who goes out on the Tour de France. I'm not sure how many stages he does, but he dresses up as a devil and waves his pitchfork and stuff like that. And he's done it for decades,
since
forever.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
He's famous for this thing, and so I'd have to Google that to find some stats on him. But he's.
Yep, look it up for us.
Yeah, you Google it now while we're looking into it. So I think there's 4 climbs that you can do. Did he or didn't he?
The 4 climbs, yep.
And first one's 2 kilometers long, 5.7.
Oh, is that in there? Okay. Dieter. Oh, German
Dieter, is it?
cycling fan.
Oh,
Didi the Devil.
yeah.
Okay. So that's since 1993. Wow. Okay. Oh wow.
They've
So
been doing it for a
basically dress
while.
up the devil and just cheers them along.
Oh wow. Okay.
And sorry, we'll come back to the rides in a second, Andrew. But he does it generally on the climbs, doesn't he?
I think so. Maybe because they slow down, so it gets longer with them, perhaps. Which is not a bad point.
Well,
Although they probably still go quick anyway.
Yeah. Well, you got to run besides those cyclists. So
Yeah, that's him. That's the guy.
Wow.
getting the job done.
So he's been doing it for ages.
Yeah.
Sure. Pretty cool. Okay. And he's not even in proper running shoes. He's in Birkenstocks or something. Oh my god! Not even Birkenstocks, like slippers. Wow.
The national footwear of Europe.
Germany.
Of Germans.
Yeah.
They love a good sandal, don't they?
Oh yeah, I've actually bought myself a pair of those, and
Oh yeah.
you know how they're meant to be molded to your feet, sort of thing. Yeah. Because they're all the rage at the moment.
Yeah.
And one foot, it must match up really nicely with the contours, and it's like quite comfortable. The other one is just out of sync with and it'll bed in, but it's just annoying at the moment.
It's a whole bunch of pain until you get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I need some hot weather, so yeah.
Oh yeah, so it molds a bit faster.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah. What are the routes? Tell us what the routes are.
I'm not going to pronounce them because I'll royally screw those up.
We're just useless at pronouncing it.
Yeah. First climb is like basically 2Ks and 130 meters of climbing. So that's pretty cool.
Easy.
Second one's about 6Ks or just under 6 kilometers, 350-ish meters of climbing. Fourth one is 12.7 kilometers with 1,000 meters of climbing. And then the last one is 14.3 and 1,118 meters of climbing.
Wow. Yep.
And each one's roughly open on the portal for 2 days.
Oh, so you got a 2-day stint to do them before they close again.
Wow.
About two or 3 day window yet to get it done.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
2 days each, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 days for each one of those climbs. Yeah, you got to do it.
So you got roughly.
So you could have a climb, rest, climb, rest, climb, rest.
Yep.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Gonna get on that? No.
Well, no, because my trainer's broken, so
Yes.
it's a bit of a pain.
Yes, it is.
Oh. You should speak to your husband about that and get that fixed up.
He's emailing Wahoo.
Yep. I've sent the details of Wahoo. I think it's out of warranty, so I don't think we're gonna have much.
That's no good, mate.
No.
Christmas present this year. Here we go.
Yep. Another $900 trainer.
Yeah.
You gotta stop burning these trainers out.
Too much power.
Too much, yeah. Too many watt bombs. No?
No.
What was I going to say about
So that'll be my goals for the holidays, I guess, is to
well done,
try and do a bit of those. Yeah, have a crack at them.
Yeah.
And maybe do another run if I can get this calf muscle sorted out.
Yep.
We'll see how that goes.
Get it replaced.
I think the physio was just looking at me going, just like, what are you doing, mate? You're an old man. What are you do? Just give it up already.
Yeah. He doesn't want to point at the obvious, but yeah.
No, that's right. You can't say that, but you can just read into it.
Or
maybe it's just
don't listen to him. You can get out there. You can
no.
do it. Yep.
Well, that's right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Yeah,
no, for sure.
That's Frank to bugger off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll see what he says. Hey, now have you got your supplements yet?
No, I've been meaning to order them. So I'm the NMN. Yeah, we know we've been talking about that. So I've been looking at the diff. So was it Age Mate is one of them?
Mm-hmm.
And
I've seen that one.
There's
on my feeds.
Others, and of course now I'm getting the different ads that come through on my feed that talk about the why one is better than the other.
Yeah.
And so now I'm locked into this battle of trying to figure out which is the best one to get. And of course I want to get it so that both of us can take it. So get enough for at least a month
all sorts of cocktails I'm taking at the moment. So
Yeah.
why not throw
some more in there.
in?
Yep.
Yeah,
No, this is
that's
really
the way.
This is really good. You can do it.
Oh.
So yeah, so I'm hoping when I get back next week,
They'll turn up.
yeah, well, I'll order some. So, and
Yeah.
has there been any improvements in your end for taking it?
I don't think I've been jumping out of my skin with energy, but I certainly don't think I've been as flat as normal. So I think if that makes sense, like I feel like I've got a more of a steadier energy level right throughout the whole day, rather than getting towards, I don't know, the afternoon and then just sort of crashing off or something like that. Like it feels to be maintained a lot longer.
Yeah.
So
one thing that I'm hearing in the ads, and again, take it for what they're worth, is that whole mid-afternoon slump. And I get that. Like I've got to actively get up and do something. Otherwise, I end up sort of just, the eyelids get heavy at my desk. And
But is it not worth getting some bloods done?
Well, I probably should do that too.
I think everyone should get it done at least once a year, really, because
you know what? I'll do that.
You could be deficient in something that whatever this drink isn't going to supplement enough.
Yep.
Like I've had to get some bloods done, and I've got low iron, so I've got to get an iron infusion. So it kind of explains why I get that. I feel exhausted when I wake up.
Yep.
But and like by 1 o'clock, I just want to go to bed. I'm just so tired because I have no energy. But and I think my low iron, is one of the factors contributing to that, amongst a few other things.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely worth getting your bloods done because, as you get older, I think.
Yeah, but even still, I think it's just a good idea in general.
Because everyone's really different, and everyone thinks, oh, I'm just going to take a multi, over-the-counter multi that's going to help with everything. But like I say, everyone's bloods are different, so you may be deficient in something or have too high of something or whatever because you're eating a certain food that is high in something or low in something or whatever. So I think it's
Well, I'll make a commitment. I will.
And it's free.
Go get my bloods done.
I think it's important.
And I'll try and shoot a video. So when I go back to talk to the doctor about what the results are, I'll try and record it if I can.
Oh.
And see what he has to say. Because honestly, I haven't had any kind of physical since I turned 45. So 45, I think, was the last time I got any kind of medical checkup done, and it was a general.
Oh, that was 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it was
when you first met me.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was
That's a while.
It was a poke here and check under there, and
no.
And it didn't seem like anything was out of whack. So I was like, "Yep, thumbs up." And I think I may have got a blood test done, but just for nasty stuff. So there was no, oh, you're low in this, and you could have more of that.
Well, no, but the thing is, with the doctors, you can't just go, oh, I just want to get a blood test done. You've got to go in and say, look, I'm feeding this way and this way, because they will test for certain things. They won't just do it. There's not just an overall test for everything. They do test for certain things. You've got to, and I think your age will factor into that.
Yep. What did you say?
Nothing.
I'm old.
Well, you are.
Testosterone account's going down, mate.
No, and it does though. That's the thing. We've been discussing it. Just as you get older, I'm at that age where obviously perimenopause is a huge part of my life, but just all the levels that sort of drop, your estrogen, your progesterone drops, and your testosterone drops. You forget that in men, testosterone drops as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And I actually didn't even think that would happen. So it's I think men also just need to obviously look after themselves.
Yep.
Make sure they're taking the right supplements and what have you. I think it's everyone should be looking after their health.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. I'll get my bloods done. I'll shoot a video, and I'll post it separately to here within the channel.
I'll keep prodding you.
And see what they say, and then I'll lock into an NMN provider.
I've even talked a mate into getting onto this as well.
And has he?
I think so. I think he was like super keen. Like, so I was driving home from work the other day, and I've got a friend who's probably, his name's Andrew. I think he's about the same age. Anyway, we're just talking rubbish as we do.
Yep.
And somehow we got onto the topic of these. I think I was talking about the show. Oh, that's how it was, because I was going to get. It does printing on the sidelines.
Oh, yep.
So I was going to get him to do the logo as a big poster that I can hang on the wall.
Ooh, okay.
So that's how this is where it all started from.
Yeah.
And so then we was just sort of talking about the show, and we talked about what was coming up, and how about looking after yourself and all those sorts of things. And then I said, I got onto the supplement thing, and I said, oh yeah, I'm on this thing. And he goes, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I've seen the adverts and everything else as well. And I went, is it working? And I said, well, I wouldn't say like I'm jumping out out of my skin in terms of having this abundance sort of thing.
Yep.
But I said, certainly I feel like I've got it more maintained. And he goes, and then he says, talking about multivitamins and how, you can have those and still take multivitamins, a bit like what you said, Sharon, and unless it's actually doing what it is that you want it to do, then it's not doing anything and you're still feeling the same way. So he said, and he gave an example of like, it's really embarrassing when you're standing at the urinal when you're having a leak and it's like bright yellow and there's like two other people downstream from you. He goes, so we had a laugh about that.
Yeah,
but
it's not lighting up the room.
Yeah. So and he goes, when he said, "Oh, is it working for you?" And I said, "Well, yeah, it's sort of. I guess it's only early days. It's only been it's like about a week or whatever it is."
I could take months for that sort of thing to make a difference.
Yeah, and so he was gonna. He goes, "Well, I'm going to get on that as well." So I'll have to check in with him and see whether he's done that as well. And then, it might be another person I can just sort of see.
Yeah, get his
whether it's making a difference on their end as well, because that's as we've talked about. You read the posts underneath the advert, and of course it's always glowing and it's wonderful.
Oh my god, yes, I get so many. But the thing is, you've also got to be really religious in taking it. If you don't take it every day, it's not gonna work. I work in the supplement industry with specialized multivitamins, so I know that
multi what?
We're not playing this game. We're not doing this now.
Vitamins. Gotcha. Yep, keep going.
Multis. And just the importance of taking them every day. Yeah. If you don't, you're not gonna feel or see a difference.
See anything?
So I've got I've got a little cocktail of different ones that I take, and I don't take them every day, and I sort of wonder why I don't see a difference. So it's just finding a routine. Yeah. And it's just If you want to see results, you've got to be routine and religious and
committed.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
And I'm trying to be better. I'm kind of.
One of the things though that in NMN that they talk about is that the recovery as well. It really helps with recovery, which I'm interested in. So you do a race, you do a workout, and the next day you kind of,
Well, muscle recovery or.
Yep.
But then, for me, for example, I'm taking things like I've got to increase my creatine intake, fiber, and even the BCAAs. I've got to increase, or just not increase, but just make sure I'm taking daily.
And the right amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just we've got a shelf at home now. It's getting bigger, protein powder. It's got fiber. It's got magnesium powder. It's got creatine, BC. It's just a shelf of supplements and powders.
All these big white plastic.
We've even brought it with us this weekend, so we've both been knocking back our cocktails of
protein shakes,
protein and creatine.
Oh, gosh, it's hard enough as it is. You don't want to make it any harder.
But also, as you get older, your muscle mass changes, so you've got to help it out a little.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. No.
Anyway.
Right. So you're away for the weekend and then back
on
for the working week.
Or Monday evening.
Back on Tuesday.
Back into it on Tuesday.
Yep, back to work.
And then back to the regular. Yep. But so far it's been a fantastic weekend away. Yeah. The weather's been awesome. As I said, it's about 2 hours south from where we live. So if anyone look at the map, Melbourne, keep going down past the bay.
Along the Great Ocean Road, just
on the left-hand side.
The Great Ocean Road.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've done a couple of rides around here, a couple of, so the Amy Gillett Grand Fondo, which they hold. It used to be in November. I'm not sure if it's still the same case. Yes,
Lawn,
it's out
lawn
of
to
Lawn.
Apollo Bay, isn't it?
Yeah, Skeens Creek, Deans Marsh. It's about 110 kilometres, somewhere around about 3,000 metres of climbing, and it's a big day out. So some really good cycling around here.
Yeah, it's a great day.
But we've come up sans bikes, so
Actually, I think you would have had.
Sometimes you need the break.
yeah. So I'm told my coach.
Yep.
Have a break.
Sometimes you need the break. Yep.
But it's a fantastic area. And it's the only place that I just was blown away. The last 2 times I've done it, the top of Skeens Creek, there's been, I think I was telling you this, Andrew, there's been a little bit of snow on the side of the road. So for down by the coast, down by the bay, it's a real...
To have snow there.
To have a bit of, well, I don't know, snow...
Sleet, probably.
Yeah.
Sleet.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. But still cold enough that it was on the side of the road midday the next day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So cold. We'll have to talk about
Cold.
cramping because, cramping.
Oh.
Cold
Stretching.
weather.
I saw somebody said something about their cat always stretches in their comments last week.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. Name person that posted, but it was in the comments.
Jess.
Thanks,
yeah. So yeah.
Cat's always stretching. We've started to do a bit more stretching.
After that horrendous ab workout.
Yeah, the ab workout's fantastic.
Oh.
You love it, don't you?
I love my workouts, but I hate this ab workout that Nathan makes us do. And we're trying to get it done without stopping. So there's 4 different exercises we do, and we're trying to get it done in under 10 minutes without stopping midway through it. I can do it. I do it.
You're so great, though.
Without stopping and under 10 minutes. So I've got to wait for him to complete 10 minutes and not stopping, and then we can change it up a little.
Then we can
I'm getting bored now.
But you do know that the next one we're going to is going to be
harder.
Yeah.
It's brutal, and it's one of those mind over matter things as well. I've got to get my hand in my head, going, "Come on, Mum,
you can do it.
Don't let those legs drop." You know.
Yeah.
So it's focusing and just the deep breathing and just even though some of the little exercises we do like 30 seconds or a minute, it's the longest 30 seconds of your life. It's the longest 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's the same as sprinting. I mean, Andrew, you know, this is like, this is only going to be like a 30-second sprint. And then when you get into sprint, and like
30 seconds is a long time.
Yeah, 5 seconds, you're going, oh my God, I've got another 25 seconds of this left.
And it's like when I used to do workouts and you get into the red part of the workout and everyone was making comments like, why is it that those 30 seconds of hard work feel like 3 hours? But when you have that 2 minutes of just
recovery.
80 watts recovery, that's done in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Oh, yes.
Over before you know it. And then, it's just weird.
Even like that, when you do your FTP ramp test, it's the same. Like if you do the small ones and it's like those minutes, you think, it's just a minute. It's just a minute. And then when you start to get to the end of your tether, it's the longest minute.
Yeah.
And like when you're choosing a workout, not that I actually haven't done a workout in so long. I need to probably get back into them. But I would sort of just look at how the minutes are spaced, or the 30 seconds of this one, or 10 seconds of this whatever. I'm like, that's all right. It's easy. That looks easy. And then when you actually start doing it, you're like, oh no, the legs aren't happy. It's like
And
then you looked in the list and you got like another 8 of those to go.
I've only got 4 stars and there's another 44 to get or whatever. It's like
That's me. Cut. What do you call that when you sort of chunk it? Cut. I can't think of the word. Yeah, that's the one. And so you look at your workout, and you just instead of looking at that, you got 8 to go. You just go, just do the one, and you just do the one, and you just do the one, and you just do the one.
Yep.
And you get smart ass comments in the in the comment box going, 1 down, 5, 10 to go.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
You have to say that.
Yeah.
Big mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who does that sort of stuff?
Yeah. Gosh, totally positive. 1 down. Awesome. Don't worry about the rest.
Yeah.
But, they are hard. All right. So, talked about showing up consistently, don't sort of get yourself down when you make mistakes. If you haven't done something properly, if you think you could have done it better but you didn't, so don't get down yourself on that. And I think it's also about just building that long-term self-belief. And just, as you say, Andrew, if you've got a mantra, if you've got a slogan, if you've got a saying that goes through your head, just have that. And the fact that you've got it printed out on your mat where you're doing your cycling, that's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, but I think that's something that all of our viewers and listeners can easily, something that they could easily do. Maybe not the mat, but like even just a stencil on the wall or a poster on the wall or whatever that is, that they could do that quite easily. So
especially if you're in that pain cave as well, it's like enough to get you through the next 30 seconds or the next 2 minutes, whatever the case is, and as long as you can get past that, then you tackle it again.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've gone ahead and created now a worksheet, a listener worksheet. Okay, so the link to this is going to be in the description of this video. Now, if you're listening to us on in the Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or some other podcast platform, thank you, by the way. If you want to get this, it's a document, it's a Word document. You can just get it, you can print it out, you can have it. It's only a couple of pages, so it's really easy to follow. So come back to our YouTube channel for this episode, and you'll find the link to it in the description of this video. You can click on it, you can download it, and essentially it's got a bunch of steps that we've kind of talked about today in this episode. So about identifying doing that self-audit and identifying the negative kind of comments that we tend just to make. We don't even think we're doing it, and we keep repeating that to ourselves every time we feel that we're not matching up. Then we've got some reframing. So we talked about reframing in the sense of turning some of those comments into positive affirmations, and how you can kind of retrain that inner voice to build you up. Just like a coach would. I mean, we do it for our friends, we do it for our families, we just don't do it for ourselves. And so you can build yourself up, you can train yourself to rethink of these things in a positive frame of mind. And then we've got, there's like a 7-day tracker in it as well, which allows you just to go through and identify those trends, those moments where you think you're letting yourself down, but you're not letting yourself down. I mean, you're turning up, you're showing up, you're doing it, and even though you may not do it the way you wanted to do it, you're still doing it, So check that out.
That's right.
Exactly. You'll see that in the description of this video. You can go ahead and download it. Now we're going to have a listener worksheet for each of the upcoming episodes, specifying and being specific to what we've been talking about, so you can kind of collate them and follow through. And look, we're really hopeful that this is going to help. I'd be really interested, and Andrew too, about anyone who has any comments or any thoughts or ideas about this, and whether it's going to be helpful. And don't forget, Andrew, we've got our Discord channel. The link to that is in the description below. If you've got when we're really looking forward to seeing some of your wins. So if you've got a pick you've done, an event you've done, a walk, a run, a swim, a ride, whatever it is, gym session, you've hit certain PRs, whatever the case is, drop us a pic. We want to see it. We want to cheer it on, and we're hopefully in the next upcoming episodes, we're going to show a few of them here as well, which would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I might share a couple of websites whether that mat where I got that, if people want to chase something up like that, and that bracelet as well. So if that helps people, then I'll put them there. Obviously we got no ties to that. It's just something that I've used, and people can go for the life.
Yeah, but if anyone's out there that wants us to advertise their products, links in the description. Just let us know.
I think it's been
all right. So that's been fantastic. That's really good episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. And as I said, now if you're I'm reading from my sheet here. So if your inner voice is a muscle, today you just gave it a workout. And next week we're going to be talking about discipline. So not motivation, but discipline. Because it's what gets you out of bed when your brain says, let's scroll TikTok for an hour, or sleep in until 11 o'clock, or don't get out of bed because it might be raining. I think I can see a cloud in the sky, because we've all been there. So next week is going to be another fantastic episode. It's going to be it's going to be great. All right, Andrew, as always, thank you very much. Sharon, appreciate you being roped into this.
Yeah, been great. Thanks.
And
no worries.
We'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.
See you guys. Bye.